Namaste, angels. I'm here to do some of the personal readings. I decided to do a couple before I run out to start this day of pampering that I'm doing. Totally accidental. I mean, not the individual things that I planned, but the fact that they all turned out to be for today. Um, Completely accidental, or at least on my part. Obviously, the universe wanted me to get these things done today. Every time I contacted somebody for an appointment, it was like, okay, Friday. And I'm like, oh, there's actually a slot there. All right. Next thing I knew, I was doing like 10 things today. So, yes, it is Friday, the 21st anniversary of Prince's death. And I think that his spirit has certainly been around us, at least the past couple of days. I know when Doves Cry totally came through to the reading, that wasn't made up. Like the cards fit with the song. I totally heard it in that moment and all that kind of stuff. So definitely feel him, and maybe he'll join us for this one as well. Give us some of that etheric vibe, purple vibe of his. I'm beginning with blessings. I'm going to do a cross. Yes, Easter. Well, we're still in the Easter season. Lent is over. The Lenten season is over. But this is still the Easter season until the Feast of the Ascension, when Jesus goes back up to heaven. So I'm going to do the cross, beginning with blessings, his mother and Mary here, and opening to abundance. So perhaps financial blessings coming the way of this couple. Blessings back, or love too. Abundance comes in the form of love too. The earth connection. Tomorrow's Earth Day. This is a reminder of the need to reconnect with the earth. If you live in an area that's conducive to even, maybe stepping in, some grass barefoot and just absorbing it, closing your eyes and absorbing it, or reaching down, touching the grass, smelling the flowers, just having a picnic, just sitting in the middle of it all, seeing the bees. Hopefully they're out there and still thriving, so we can continue to thrive because we need them. All that kind of stuff. Our connection is back, and opening to miracles. Miracles not the bottom. I'll go one more. It's answered prayer. Perhaps those blessings and miracles. For what you've been praying. Trilogy of lights. This so far very, very Jesus. Yeah. Began with Mary and blessings and answered prayer and miracles, and now Trilogy of Light, which is very Trinity card for me. Overall energy is listening. This is all about surrender. Okay, as you can see, this woman is in full surrender. She's nude, first of all. And I feel like when we're naked, we're at our most vulnerable. We're bare. There's nothing left to hide beneath. There's nowhere left to hide. We're completely exposed. But she's doing it on purpose so that she can fully absorb what the universe is trying to convey to her. And this is a message to all of us, but to you certainly. Okay, here's the feminine about herself. The masculine about her. One just jumped out. It's birth. Birth. I'm not sure why that wants to join us early. We'll put it here. Feminine about herself, the masculine about her, about himself, and about the union. Okay. Overall, and this sort of jumped out around here, I guess where I would have done the union. So I want to make note of that too. I mean, it could be a connection to this particular message here. The outcome. And then I had added 3 placements for the 3 women who remained throughout the crucifixion. And that is, of course, Mary, the mother of Jesus. And this is where I've been putting, similar to the picture we just saw, the woman who was in full surrender. This is what I've been putting what the feminine is willing to sacrifice and surrender, like on behalf of the union. The masculine, and what the universe would have the couple together, both surrender. And again, the overall energy, listening. Soulmate. So you feel about yourself that you are certainly this masculine soulmate, divine partner. And this is a very confident and blessed energy. So I'm happy to see this. I like seeing that um, for you. What does he feel? Same. Same colors in these cards, too. Okay, so there's totally a connection there. You guys are like on the same page. He sees tantric union. That's certainly a spiritual connection. It's not just sexual. It's a spiritual connection. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even have to be the actual sex involved, the act of sex involved for tantric union. Tantra is, yeah, it's just a whole next level way of connecting, and you don't even have to be to get together to do it. It can be totally a 5D thing. Um, so for someone to feel that way about you, definitely says that the way they feel about it's not purely physical. Um, there's a whole spiritual aspect of it, like a soulmate. About himself, spiritual growth. So he's going through things, positive things. Um, he's learning who he is, what he is, growing as a person, as a spiritual being. So maybe explains why he's feeling the whole tantra thing. About the union, healing sounds comes into connection with the listening. Okay, this woman is also nude, also vulnerable, also bare before the universe, eyes closed, waiting to receive messages, to be healed by the messages that she hears. This is what the masculine wants for the union. And when I picked this up, speaking of earth connection and what's maybe conducive to your area or not, and getting out there if you can, this retreat card was underneath. Um, this woman sitting, meditating with the flowers, just atop the grass. So if you can do that, certainly guided too. Overall, Moon Tree. This is another card of sacred union. So not only a blessing that it's here, but that it sort of sits atop these two cards, other cards of sacred union. This is about sacred marriage, the marriage between heaven and earth, and reflective or representative of the merge that's described in the scriptures for those that know them. God does indeed say he's going to marry heaven and earth, basically. He's going to bring them together, merge them together. But it also represents the marriage that exists between sacred beings, whether they've stood, together before some sort of officiant and a civil ceremony or not. This marriage exists between two people like this. The outcome is meditation, more being bare and naked and vulnerable before the universe. Just continuing to grow, essentially. You're on the right track. You're on the same page. It's the birth of something here, certainly for you guys. But you're not quite there yet. The masculine recognizes that, but he's ready for the journey. So, that's like more than half the battle. What should you be sacrificing? Okay, when you pray and you ask for things, and then you have to believe that it's received. It's kind of like praying and then having no faith behind it, and like prayer without works, as they say, and faith without works is just like words, empty words. So this is what you need to sacrifice: is this need to constantly be reassured and asking, like, it's done, where is it? Answer, did I get my prayer? You can't. That sort of demonstrates to the universe that you're not ready to receive anything, perhaps even not deserving. So you certainly don't want to give that impression to God. So let go of that need to. You put the prayer out there. It's heard. You believe, you have faith that it's gonna be answered, and then it is. The masculine, he's willing to surrender to this whole aspect of like ascending we're, the idea, the whole concept of trying to ascend to like a Christ consciousness, um, and achieve like an earthly version, as above, so below, of this Trinity. Very nice. And what the universe would have the two of you do is to be vulnerable to it. Again, we have another naked woman, another naked being here before the universe, allowing it to fill her with light that is helping her to ascend. And she's just going with the flow. She's allowing anything that was dark to be transmuted to light here. Dark no more. And it's making her like light as a feather. And she's floating up like a bird. She's a rising phoenix from the ashes, from the fires, from the burning embers. This is what the universe wants of the two of you. Okay, so now get to your other spread. Take a good look at this. Rewind it if you want to sit and stare at it and smile. So I'm going to the angel card, beginning with the Five of Water, which is very, oh, woe is me. And not, like, again, maybe a lack of appreciation, not counting your blessings. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. Not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk. Opening to the Queen of Air, who's independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. And an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, maybe somebody in this union or impactful upon it, is the same. Objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in the situation. The Queen of Air is back. Open to the Seven of Fire. Defend your beliefs. Stand your ground. Choose your battles wisely. Queen of Air still here. Opening to the Four of Fire. Contentment, peace, and abundance. A happy home life. And the successful completion of a project. Four of Fire now at the bottom. I'll go. It's the Five of Fire. Perhaps somebody jealous of that potential, commitment, peace, abundance, all that stuff. Competing goals, bothersome details, and conflict with others. Maybe somebody mad about a decision to enter a commitment, to end a previous commitment, and that's why the Seven of Fire shows up here as well. Okay, the 5 indicates that there's, you've bothered somebody with your decision in this regard, maybe in this regard to a home, maybe wanting to move, and people are mad that you're wanting to move. It can be so many things surrounding this foundation that is your foundation, yours to choose to change whenever you like. Somebody doesn't like it though, so that's why the Seven of Fire shows up, because you have to defend whatever choice it is you've made in that regard. This could be you, this could be the masculine, this could be both. It's the Ace of Air. The truth will set you free. Brilliant new ideas and inspiration. Seeing the truth of a situation and a challenging beginning. Like the Queen of Air, the Ace of Air is an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. The overall energy is the Five of Air. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motive. So the Five of Air is another card of conflict, similar to the Five of Wands. But the Five of Wands for me tends to be about a person fighting themselves, or like us battling themselves inside out, and or maybe something going on at work, like fighting over somebody jealous of you at work, trying to claim, praises due to you and rewards due to you. They're trying to claim the spotlight, the limelight, that type of thing. And then most of all, like people that you thought were close friends, or people that are family members, people that you thought cared about you and about you, whom you care, just not turning out to be what you thought. Conflict with them on levels that you never would have expected. The Five of Air, contrary to that, for me, tends to be about like anybody. It doesn't have to be anybody. It could be friends still, but it could be strangers too. You just get into conflict um, with people. And it tends to be something in which we had a hand, So it's something that pops off, but whether intentionally, or inadvertently or whatever, we were somewhat involved in, whatever led to something popping off. So this is the overall energy for your reading. It's the king of air, who's brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice. Balance mental and emotional considerations. So yet again, like the ace and the queen, the king of air is a Gemini, Aquarius, a Libra. Surrounded by the high priestess, who's also a Gemini, if you ask me. She's seen in the tarot by other tarot practitioners as a water sign, though. Here, she's pictured with Archangel Haniel. Listen to your intuition. Have patience and consider carefully what you want before acting. The masculine subconscious, it's the world with Archangel Michael. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude. The path toward enlightenment. So, for example, that decision that had to be made, it may have been him to end something maybe surrounding his home, to move out of a home he's lived in for a long time, to separate from people with whom he lived, to change that whole aspect of his life. It wasn't like always a happy time. It was hard. It was difficult. It was long. It was tiring. It was stressful. And it's like he's finally out of it. This is a survivor card, or waiting to exhale, or my waiting to exhale cards. When you finally get to breathe easy and go, like, oh, thank God that's over. And the universe sort of eases you out of that old situation and eases you into a new one. And it often involves a third person or third energy. This is a 21. Today is the 21st. Again, the anniversary of Prince's death. And this can be certainly a party of three. The feminine is crowned by the 10 of air, the end of a difficult situation, maybe this difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. You may even be recovering from addiction. That addiction doesn't have to be to a substance. It can be like a codependency upon any person, place, or thing, for one thing. 10 of air also about feeling betrayed, backstabbed, hurt. That could have been involved in certainly an aspect of the 5 of air, but could have something to do with this world energy as well. And even opposite the king of air, maybe there was the need, or there is a need for some sort of healing or therapy or something that the king of air could provide, because that's what they do. That's not necessarily what the person who might be represented by the king of air in your reading does, but a king of air on a more global scale, larger scale. A king of air is somebody that's very diplomatic. He's often like a doctor, a lawyer, a judge, somebody who can help you to heal some of these issues. Feminine is surrounded by ego, or the devil in the tarot. Archangel Jophiel. A false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. So somebody bound to something, someone, someplace. That finally over. I mean, these cards very similar. Also, again, the world is reflective of having been tied or stuck in a karmic energy for a long time and finally being released from it. Also, when I picked up the 5 of air before, underneath it, upside down, but underneath it nonetheless, was the Ace of Earth. The inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, important documents or contracts. So like the ego card or the devil card, the Ace of Earth is a Capricorn or a Virgo or Taurus. When I picked this up, it's another 3, and it's this very depressing 3, the 3 of air. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's also the need to forgive yourself and others. So this can be somebody's ex or something. This could be heartache. part of a separation, maybe this world party of three or something. This can be part of the betrayal, attached to betrayal. It can be both. It can be the reason for the five of air, or the result of the five of air, rather, the consequence of the five of air. Somebody, messed up, and it ended up hurting someone that they cared about, or someone made a decision that they had to better themselves, to help themselves. So it wasn't on purpose, wasn't intentionally, but inadvertently, as a consequence, it hurt someone, about whom they cared. The feminine subconscious, it's renewal or judgment with Archangel Jeremiah. Review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. The renewal card, or the judgment card in the tarot, is about being judgmental, at its most general sense. And of course, to not do that, attempt to not do that about against yourself or other people. With regard to work, and maybe getting back to people being jealous of us at work and things like that. It's about the boss keeping a watchful eye on you, wanting to give you some sort of promotion, raise, bonus, something, recognition. And maybe that's what the masculine was waiting on for a long time, for example. It's finally coming through. Had been bound to lack, bound to being, obsessing about the material, and that coming to an end because his job finally doing better, or in your case maybe, but it affected the union. So it's like the idea is to not slack off, right now, because you're under watchful eye. Where it comes to relationships, whether romantic or, friendly, whatever, if they've, a relationship that's been strained, that has an issue that needs to be addressed, it's like a make or break moment. Like, it's the coming together moment where we decide, where do we go from here? What are we doing? Crowning. It's the Queen of Earth, who's thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible, and like that ace I just picked up, or perhaps the devil card here, is a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Make time for those around you. So this can be about all work and no play, not making yourself available. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner, not popping off, being warm as possible, thinking before you act. That's what earth signs do. They're very methodical, and they like to plan stuff out first rather than just react. This is very much full of air, though. At the root, it's the Knight of Air, who can be about chaos, confusion, reckless, He doesn't stop and think, as opposed to this earth sign. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. To the positive, this Knight of Air could be responding to the fact that this world energy is gone and finally taking off. Like, woo, yeah, I'm out of here. And running to judgment. It can be about a rush to judgment. That cliche. But maybe, again, for the good in this case. Like, I'm going to heal this situation, like ASAP. At the heart of the matter, it's the Five of Earth. So, lack, material lack, again, maybe. But also the other meaning that I suggested as a possibility, codependency. This can be about fear of abandonment, where it comes to love, at least for me. Fear surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment is at the heart of the matter. So it can have more than one meaning, dual meaning, triple meaning. Can be about financial lack and worry, paranoia, not believing that our prayers are answered, and so therefore they're not. Self-fulfilling prophecies. It can be about that, but can also be about, with regard to relationships, again, even friendships and stuff, just this fear of people not being there when they say they're going to be, when they say they're going to make time, that they don't actually do it, that as soon as you get used to them being around, they leave. And maybe that's something for which somebody needs some therapy, to help them to deal with these abandonment issues that they're crossing. I'm going to go to the romance cards. Beginning with, it's safe for you to love. Somebody could have some of this hurt remaining from a past relationship, and sort of carrying it over into their new one. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. And opening to romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Safe for you to love. And playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So based on all this air, I could say that maybe there's a Gemini involved, or perhaps a Virgo. It's definitely one of the more youthful signs, or the need to behave like one of the more youthful signs. Playfulness is back. And boom, here's your your feeling of lack. And perhaps this prophecy you've been, self-fulfilling in your life, you've been manifesting lack into your life, with your, lack of faith, disbelief in the universe, and feelings of just perpetual lack and abandonment. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Finances and career back. I'll go one more. It's passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Finances and career back. And cut. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. This is about being patient and, again, allowing the universe to work with you, for you, through you. Children. Your love life is being affected by children. So much so that this is the overall energy of your reading. That can have something to do with the third person. The third person or energy can be maybe this masculine's child's mother, the other parent. Maybe they're finally breaking up, as they say, separating. They're finally ending this very miserable, potentially miserable energy of the world. And so now they can both go on to seek happiness and peace and contentment, as shown in by the Four of Fire. That's a possibility. When I pick up this mother, wife, sister, daughter card, underneath it is health and healing. Underneath that is choose peace. Okay, so this is about, stopping the drama, stopping the fighting. Let me go on with my life and be happy. You please go on with your life and be happy too. Because we can't be happy together. That's not the way it's meant. That's not what the universe intends. So it's not going to work. We can't, trump the universe, beat it, fight it. We, might as well flow with the current. Also, we got to learn to balance career and home life, as I was saying too. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. It makes Jill an equally dull girl. And we can't be obsessed with the material. That's the earthly. And the scriptures say that, all these things are the earthly, they're meant for our destruction. So, we're meant to have them, use them to the extent that we, need them. And sometimes what we want to. But the universe knows what we need. So when you put the prayers out there, they're answered. You get what you need. You get what you need if you don't manifest negativity and lack into your own life. Underneath this is St. Francis here with follow your heart. So making choices that are for ourselves as opposed to for other people. Letting go of any codependency that would have made us make decisions based on what others feel they want or need. That is, contrary to what the universe intends for us. And just, if we need to, seeking peace through maybe yoga or other meditation. You could easily be, just as easily be the mother, wife, sister, daughter. And those difficulties could be on your side. It can be on both, dual meaning. You both had a third situation that was affecting your universe, your universe, your personal universe, your union. Here atop the King of Air is wedding. So I'm saying this could be an officiant, and certainly could be maybe a judge that's going to perform a wedding now or in the future. Or this could be the masculine himself wanting, further commitment. Maybe not necessarily an actual wedding, but um, whatever commitment means to him. This situation involves marriage. Could be with regard to the fact that sacred beings are already married. How we saw the moon card. The situation certainly does involve marriage, a marriage that's already happened before we were even born, before we even got here. Surrounding the masculine, however, is codependency. Here, opposite the devil, right where it belongs. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. And again, this doesn't have to be substance abuse. This can be addiction upon any person, place, or thing. Not wanting to move when you need to, when you've worn out your stay welcome in a particular place, not wanting to change jobs, leave a job even though you need to. Maybe this hasn't occurred yet, this world. It's coming. If it has, but it hasn't. Maybe it hasn't occurred yet. Atop the world is getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So moving forward in a positive way. Once we exit that old energy, here atop the 10 of air is flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. So in order to come back around to a place of friendliness, peace, and where we can meet in the middle and begin contact and talk, is being about being lighthearted, and maybe being a little silly, a little extra youthful, like a Gemini, like perhaps a Virgo, a Pisces, a Sagittarius, certainly lighthearted energy. Here, atop ego, the devil is calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. When you maybe let go of the change that you feel abounding you, tying you to something else, holding you back. Here, atop renewal, judgment is pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Red flags that I've seen here is the 4 of fire, the 5 of fire, and the 7 of fire, where you have to make choices for yourself and not anybody else, and they can't make your choices for you either. And then you have to stand your ground. You have to stand in your truth. You have to defend those choices, those decisions, and stick up for yourself. That doesn't mean fighting a fight all the time. It may mean it sometimes. It doesn't mean it all the time. It can just as easily mean walking away sometimes, but just defending your own choices and beliefs. Crowning here atop the Queen of Earth is express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Maybe Mercury in Taurus will allow for you to do that, allow for you to communicate with all this air and earth here. It might be a prime time for you to do that. Atop the Knight of Air is let go of control issues and allow this situation to unfold naturally. So maybe the Knight of Air doesn't need to run off half-cocked to, put out a fire. The universe has got it, and we just got to chill out and fall back. It's happening. It's unfolding. At the heart of the matter, atop this feeling here, so maybe it's warranted between you, is forgiving and learning. Or again, maybe you each have a situation from the past that's holding you back and you need to forgive and learn, or one of you does and it's affecting the other because it's affecting the union. Whatever the case is for you, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. I'm going to go to, and you know what, first I want to check something. Yeah, I thought so. The time has come to clear your energy. And then the next one's upside down. So they wanted to help me to do what I wanted to do. And they did. I'm going to move on to the Ascended Master cards now. Again, begin with Mother, Wife, Sister, Daughter, and Lady Nada. And opening 2 priorities, getting things in order, which again, an earth sign is very good at. Planning. Priorities back with King Solomon, and spiritual law of attraction. You get back what you put out. You put out negative vibes, distrustful vibes, lack of faith. You manifest lack. You put out positive vibes, healthy, positive, faithful, optimistic vibes. You get what that earns. Spiritual law of attraction back, and opening to teacher. So some of it is just the life experience and It's the universe has a way of showing us the same thing over and over sometimes if it has to, until we get it, until we learn that lesson. It's going to repeat itself. Open it out to father, husband, brother, son. So the same way I started with mother, wife, sister, daughter, and now I'm coming to this. The two of you, each of you may very well have a both a masculine and a feminine energy, and it could be the ones within you. We each have both. That require healing and repair. Maybe that's what the judgment card is about. This is the relationship that needs healing. It could be within yourself, or with another masculine and or feminine in your life, father, husband, brother, son, or even friend, or anybody else who could be, or who is someone in your life that could affect you to the extent that it's like prevented you from being able to move forward in a positive way, not only with your life, but specifically with your love life. You have to heal that. And you can heal it again by walking away, like the Seven of Fire, or, by repairing the relationship. I've come to peace offering with White Buffalo Calf Woman. And I get stuck every time I pull this card because I know what it means. I know that I'm a real psychic. I know exactly who I am for what I was put here. So when I see it, I know what it means in the larger scale. And it means that people will pass away. I said it in the Thursday reading, and sure enough, on Thursday, not only did a bunch of my viewers contact me about people they knew, family members, friends of family, and things like that that passed away, but also Cuba Gooding Jr.'s father, Cuba Gooding Sr., who was an entertainer. I said celebrities would pass away too. He did, in fact, pass away unexpectedly, suddenly. He was an R&B singer. I also had used the word specifically the other day and said that people would be at least metaphorically hanging themselves. And, Judases, not just any old person, Judases. And that came to pass too. Bill O'Reilly certainly hung himself. He was in the news shortly thereafter, having hung himself on his own words, with his own words, and has been fired from Fox News. Aaron Hernandez physically hung himself in his jail cell. So when I speak, it's not just to be hearing myself talk or to be saying words. I'm a real psychic. So when I see this, it does bother me. But it means other things too. It also means what the author intended. That there needs to be, in this union, what they call maybe like a coming to Jesus moment. And the white buffalo does represent the second coming of Jesus, speaking of a coming to Jesus moment, where you guys need to come together in a peaceful way, open to forgiving and learning, learning from the mistakes of the past, whether they were the past with somebody else or a past life, or the past together, or a combination of those. Learning from it, releasing it, like that transmutation card. Remember what the universe wanted the two of you to sacrifice was this need to cling to old stuff, let it to darkness and all that. Let all that go, and instead be filled by the light. Allow it to lighten you and allow you to ascend up from the ashes. That's what this is about for you guys. The overall energy is come out of the closet with Amaterasu. So it's time to, release your capital X too, maybe not just your EX. And stick up for what you believe. Just say, this is who I am, this is what I am, this is where I am in my life, this is what I'm doing. I don't care what you think, I don't care what you think. And that can be you that needs to do that. It can be the masculine, it can be both of you. Just to be out in the open, not ashamed of your choices, your life. Here, atop the king of air, and wedding is trust with Vishnu for the masculine. So more messages of the need of you guys to have some faith. Atop, release your ex and this codependency, and the high priestess. who had likely been getting messages intuitively as to what they needed to do, maybe ignored them, is open your heart to love. Maybe afraid, fear of love because of fear of abandonment, because of failed experiences before from which we need to learn and carry the lesson and leave the rest behind, leave the pain of it behind, leave the three of air, take what's good. Um, that would lead us to opening our hearts to love, as Jesus recommends here. Atop getting to know each other and the world is the flow of prosperity. Okay, this is unblocking your blessing by finally releasing, what you didn't need in your life. This whole long process situation that was negative for you, by letting go of it, you open the flow of abundance in your life. Atop flirt and the 10 of air, which again, it can be about betrayal and hurt and all that kind of stuff. Back being backstabbed is teacher. So it's again a lesson, and taking the lessons learned and leaving the painful aspects of it behind. Atop calling in your soulmate and the devil is meditate with Buddha. So we've seen evidence of the need to do that before too, to get centered, to get grounded, like literally grounded maybe in earth. Again, if you can do this meditation outside, you should. Atop pay attention to the red flags, it's, this message again reminding us of what we manifest, what we have the power to manifest. We can manifest, healthy, positive relationships. We can manifest that money that the boss was supposed to give us but hadn't yet. When we unblock our blessing, that when we unblock the flow of prosperity, it will flow to us. That's the way the law of attraction works. It's a law of the universe. It really works. Crowning, atop express your love. Boom, crowning the union. Twin flame. Okay, there you go. And atop let go of control issues, and the knight of air, it's follow your heart. So maybe somebody was trying to prevent, again, because they have a fear that, of abandonment. They have a fear of love because they've been hurt in the past. That made them stuck. That made them codependent, stuck, unable to move forward in a healthy way. St. Francis coming through to say, nope, don't do that. Let go of the control issues and instead follow your heart. And at the heart of the matter, it's the power of joy. When you forgive, when you learn from the mistakes, when you take the positive with you and leave the rest behind, this is what you'll get. To the masculine, it's the 6 of air. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation, as we're already shown with this world energy here. You may even be taking a trip. Very nice. Twin flame, the power of joy, the sacred moon card, sacred marriage card, soulmate, all these wonderful energies for you and confirmations for you. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts, and you should continue to move forward. From the romance angels, masculine dealing with a past life relationship, again, maybe a wife, ex-wife, soon to be ex-wife, something like that. You've known each other before. He will heal from this, he will exit from this. And find new love, or love anew, love renewed. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. From the Ascendant Masters to the masculine yoga with Babaji, some meditation is certainly going to help him to become balanced, centered, and be able to make choices maybe not out of a place of like the Knight of Air that's, reactive and chaotic, but, more level-headed, maybe like a Queen of Earth, someone who thought things through and maybe even planned. And lastly, for you, purification is something, someone, someplace, maybe a combination of those, from which you need to detoxify and purify your life to allow for flow to you. And meditation, and certainly following the spiritual law of attraction, and learning from your past mistakes, and again, taking only what's good, only what helps you, what benefits you, and leaving the baggage of pain and hurt and resentment and stuff behind. I hope that you find this helpful. Namaste, Angel.